The smart lock history I didn't write, the night guest, unlocked at 10:13. At 9:38 p.m., my phone told me my studio had visitors. Not in words you can argue with. Just a haptic tap and a banner from the home app. Front door code. Guest used at 10:13 p.m. by Miles. Beneath it, a neat little timeline as if the night were a project we had both agreed to manage together. Door unlocked, door closed, alarm bypassed, interior lights. On scene. Warm. A screenshot constellated itself in my hands before I had time to call it a mistake. Miles left at 8 with the jacket that flatters him even when the day doesn't. Wrap toast, he said, which is two words that pretend a glass can do paperwork. Then notes, don't wait. He kissed me with the accurate gentleness of a sign-off and let the door click soft behind him because he knows doors remember. We share the studio. Rook Street, 4th floor, a loft we keep because we believe in ideas larger than our apartment's table. The guest entry code exists for couriers and clients and the times you can't get downstairs fast enough to pretend the elevator is personality. The phone vibrated again. Interior motion, office south. Then, kitchenette light, on. If you've never had a place you own tell you you're not the one breathing in it, it feels like hearing your own name from a mouth you didn't invite. I stood over the sink with a dish towel in my hands like I might wring it into a reason. The towel chose to be cloth. The faucet chose to be unhelpful. I put on the jacket that knows how to be quiet and let the hallway swallow me with that dry, building breath old radiators learn. Outside, Rook Street had already started duplicating itself in puddles. I took the long way because the long way lets speeches audition and fail without an audience. The lobby of our building is older than our optimism. Brass mailbox slots like stubborn smiles. A ficus that pretends to forgive fluorescent light. I didn't buzz myself in. I live here. But the elevator still asked me to believe in numbers, and I did, because belief is a habit you practice even when you don't want to. 4th floor, left, past the vending machine that refuses coins after 10. Our front door blinked its small green eye at my phone and unlocked for me out of old loyalty. Inside, the studio had that stage-after-curtain smell, warm metal, old paper, the faint sugar of someone's drink behaving itself. The desk lamp was an honest pool on a mess of script pages. On the screen above the mixboard, a progress bar slept at 97%. And the message again, fresh as arrogance. Guest, used at 10:13 p.m. The kitchen light hummed dumbly because it had been told to. The interior door to the edit room opened with a sigh it hadn't earned. Miles stepped out carrying air like it weighed something. Behind him, the room exhaled a line of music and then shut up. He pulled the door closed the way you close a book you didn't buy. "Sam," he said, my name with the softness of a receipt. "The lock is very proud of you," I said, because jokes keep my panic from putting on a uniform. "It logged your arrival like the night has an IT department." He found the gravity near his shoes, that place men keep honesty when it isn't yet dressed. "Not here," he said, "not with the logs watching." He nodded toward the window. "Fire escape, 2 minutes." The fire escape looks over the back of other people's mornings. A rectangle of city that makes HVAC sound like intention. A smoker's tray tried not to be metaphor. The metal rail was fortune cookie cold. Miles put both hands on it, then opened them like he was unfolding a plan he didn't want to assemble. "I lied when I left," he said, voice plain. Rap happened. The part where everyone says their most generous goodbye happened. And then I told myself I needed 30 minutes with a person who doesn't require me to sound like a plan. "Who?" I asked, because names are handles. You hold one when the room tilts. "Archer," he said, Sound. He hears me when I've turned myself down. Are you sleeping with him? The question is a cliff. There isn't a scenic route. You jump or you carry the edge all night like furniture. No, he said, clean, quick. Then lower, the honesty that knows which muscle to bruise. I brought my mouth. We let the metal learn our heat. Somewhere below, a door closed exactly like a line edit. In the next building, someone laughed like they'd just learned a good rule too late. I won't be your security guard, I said, and I refuse to be your docent. Those are the only two jobs strangers offer when they hear marriage and panic in the same paragraph. What do you want? He asked. Not theater contours. 30 days where we only decide in daylight, I said. After 9:30, anything that can bruise goes in a folder marked coffee. 2 nights a week are hours, cheap or fancy, loud or quiet, but we leave the house and cheat on the routine. Phones go boring again. No lock screen previews chewing our throats. No auto logins volunteering our location. No dead bolts proud of their time stamps. We audit email, calendars, delivery apps, loyalty points, smart home nonsense. We pull up the roots convenience planted without permission. And tonight you go home with me. He nodded like a hinge rediscovering use. 5 minutes, he said. Count with your lungs. Back inside, I waited in the studio the way you wait at a train door for a city. Not timid, not proud, ready. The edit room door opened again. Archer came out with a jacket folded like a well-mannered thought. He met my eyes for the length of decency. No apology, no dare. And gave me the nod men give when they've chosen to be furniture to avoid becoming evidence. I did not hate him. Hatred is heavy furniture. Our apartment is small. Miles followed, mouth reassembled to factory settings. I told him I was misusing beginnings, he said. I told him thank you and good night. We turned off the lamps we didn't need to be seen by, and locked up out of respect for the past versions of ourselves who had believed rooms were alignments between two people and their days. Outside, the street tested being quiet and decided to pass. At home, we sat on the kitchen floor because chairs are juries. I tore the blank half off a utility bill, the sacred stationery of couples who mean it, and wrote RULES in block letters I reserve for very serious drawings. We wrote the list that embarrassed us into sincerity. Thursday belongs to us. We go somewhere that isn't a screen. We spend less than we are worth and call it a victory. Decision curfew 9:30. If it can bruise, it gets a morning. Phone humility. Do not disturb at 8. No lock screen previews. No apps introducing us without consent. Audit, unlink, unsubscribe, unremember. Revoke permissions convenience stole while we were tired. Paid ears. Every other week, no applause for metaphors. 3 actions due by Thursday. Deliberate uselessness. Weekly, a jingle for the kettle, a glass crossing the room without hands, a single step on 4 kitchen tiles. Walk to the canal. Let the water lie about being Paris and forgive it immediately. Miles scrolled through settings that confuse attention with love and turned each one off like a small, important lamp. He opened the smart lock app and removed guest, then glared at the button like it owed us rent. He typed what cinema hates because it refuses spectacle. Thank you for the attention. I'm choosing my marriage. Please don't contact me. Phone face down, then face up. Transparency is rehearsal, not revelation. We slept badly and near, the way people do when they've spent the evening paying cash for truth and haven't checked their balance yet. Morning did what light does, voided late fees from the heart. Coffee forgave us. Miles messaged the rap chat, debrief tomorrow, not tonight. I need useful silence. No one asked useful for what. Saints and group chats both understand momentum. Week 1 lived under community center bulbs that prefer honesty to charm. A teacher in yellow sneakers with a laugh shaped like a bell taught us a beginner swing that required failure per beat. I stepped on his foot. He swore like a patient editor. Then he adjusted my shoulder with the tenderness of someone recalibrating a compass, not a person. Week 2, my hand kept discovering the phone the way a tongue interrogates a cut. He admitted he almost re-enabled guest on the lock for convenience. We practiced not. To celebrate, we did nothing anyone could photograph, which is a habit I recommend. There were nights the sink auditioned to be a metaphor, and we refused to cast it. We carried plates on our heads to the couch and declared victory nowhere. There were Saturdays when the height were rehearsed its reflection in my feed in expensive fonts. I pulled down like a curtain. The ad agreed to be a rumor. Week 3, we taped a photo to the wall that had been waiting in a drawer for the kind of attention you can't buy. It's the one from the sudden storm 2 summers ago. Us and 3 strangers under a shop awning, faces honest with weather. The magnet shaped like a banana performed its quiet sacrament. The rules collected creases like a flag learning wind. Week 4, we turned everything off for an hour. We put our phones in a mixing bowl as if restraint were a recipe. We told each other stories that don't live anywhere else. The time he fell asleep behind a curtain and woke to applause. The time I bought the wrong ticket to the right city and trusted the mountain ridges to explain me. We laughed with the shamelessness of people who like the sound of their own honesty. On day 30, the home app tempted us with competence. Share a new guest code, it suggested, cheerful as a maitre d' who says sir like it clears a debt. I tapped no with ceremonial gravity and whispered, not tonight, to a rectangle that will never learn mercy. The kettle answered in a key the apartment hadn't practiced. Steam is an optimist. We borrowed a little. Here is what didn't happen. We didn't upgrade into men who no longer hear a notification as a ghost. Here is what did. We became the sturdier edition of who we were already. The 2 people who can tell systems no and tell each other still. Last night he came home with the kind of tired that borrows a stranger's jacket and makes it look like a choice. He held up a paper bag like a treaty. Lavender ice cream, he said, the flavor that believes in small miracles. We ate it by the canal, coats open, because the rules don't say warm, they say present. Tonight he leans in the kitchen doorway with a book pressed to his ribs like a second heartbeat. What do you want exactly? He asks, without Dacre. I almost say the past resized. I don't. You, I say, 6 counts, 4 tiles, bread tomorrow we cut with 2 hands. He smiles with that grave joy that chose me when there were other elevators. The city refrains from commentary. The kettle keeps its promise. We practice wanting where we live. If a helpful rectangle or a polished log or any polite automation tries again to tell me where I belong, it can learn what the paper on our fridge has decided, with its creases and its magnet and its stubborn sincerity. It isn't the entry code, or the timeline, or the time stamp that confirms home. It's the door, and tonight it opens from the inside.